In this video, we'll analyze Sophie Cunningham's training camp play, interviews, and why she's now the league's secret weapon. Sophie Cunningham just walked into Fever training camp with a message so powerful, it's sending shockwaves through the WNBA. The veteran sharpshooter with a Taekwondo black belt isn't just joining the team, she's now the enforcer for the league's most targeted star. Remember when Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter believed they could bully Caitlin Clark with cheap shots while referees looked the other way? That era just came to a spectacular end. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the most anticipated player ever, the excitement quickly turned into something else entirely. As games progressed, a troubling pattern emerged that left fans and analysts alike stunned by what they were witnessing. The numbers tell a story that cannot be ignored. A shocking 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire WNBA last season were committed against just one player, Caitlin Clark. Think about that for a moment. Indiana Fever against all the bullies. If you're excited, then leave a comment below with Sophie and Cece. Second, a rookie in a league of top athletes unintentionally became the target of almost 1/5 of the most dangerous fouls in the game. This wasn't an accident, it was planned. That's why Caitlin Clark claims she was cheap-shotted against the sky. Throughout the season, she's been beaten up, hard-screened, elbowed, knocked down in game after game. The pattern became unmistakable. Opponents weren't just playing basketball. They were specifically targeting Clark with punishing screens, excessive body contact, and plays that went beyond the bounds of competition. What should have been a celebration of exceptional talent quickly turned into a nightly gauntlet of punishment, and the worst offenders were soon exposed to anyone watching Angel Reese. As Clark's most visible adversary, she combined constant physical play with constant trash talk to throw the rookie off her game. However, perhaps the most egregious moment came from Kennedy Carter, whose shoulder check during a fast break went viral on social media. These weren't just basketball plays, they were statements like, "Go, go, Clark Hammer." To make matters worse, the officials repeatedly failed to provide adequate protection, repeatedly swallowing their whistles on plays that would have earned immediate calls for other players, leaving Clark to navigate a physical minefield while also attempting to quarterback a young, inexperienced team around her. That's all I see because they strive so hard to gain respect for women's rights. Clark displayed remarkable composure despite receiving treatment that would have led many veterans to file public complaints. She never once used her media presence to criticize officials or opponents, instead putting her head down and playing through the contact with a level of professionalism that belied her rookie status. However, the toll was evident in her performance, body language, and most importantly, in her ability to play her natural game. If the Fever front office was aware of what was happening as they watched their franchise cornerstone absorb punishment night after night, and they came to the decision that this treatment would not continue into the future. The Fever's response to Clark's sophomore season was more than just adding talent. They made the deliberate choice to build a roster specifically designed to protect their star. For example, Michelle Rapport asked, where is Karis Oakley? Doesn't her team have like a Zia McDaniels or Rakesha Mahorn? She needs like a goon on her team, because when your star player is bringing so much money and so much attention to the league, and it's a bunch of them, it's been brewing. This wasn't just about winning more games. It's about sending a message to the entire league that targeting Caitlin Clark would now come with immediate consequences. The Fever needed someone with the ideal blend of skill, experience, and a willingness to set limits. They found their answer in a 6-foot dynamo with a black belt in Taekwondo and a reputation for never backing down from confrontation. Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot, and she was getting hit a lot early. They needed their Charles Oakley, and Sophie Cunningham was the player whose reputation preceded her, but whose true mission in Indiana wasn't fully understood until she grabbed the microphone at training camp behind her career 37. For the Fever versus the Warriors, 8% three-point shooting conceals something significantly more valuable: mentality and a message that went viral throughout the league. So I believe that's what they were doing in the offseason. They were trying to get winners, people who know how to compete, people who want to win, and they combined that with experience, people who have won championships. So when you have that kind of combination, and we're kind of young bucks, I'm kind of a tweener, and then you have the vets, you know, you're just trying to be a sponge, you're trying to learn, and you're trying to be good now. But at the end of the day, you're trying to be the best during the preseason, right? Well, that's why you have those vets. They've been in the game for a very long time. And that's kind of refreshing about being on this team. In an era where most athletes stick to carefully crafted PR statements, Cunningham's blunt declaration felt like a thunderclap. I do believe that everyone knows that we have something special here. I think that many teams have a lot of teams that are special, a lot of rosters that are special, but can you put aside your agendas? Can you come into work every single day when you're tired, when you're sore, and still get something done? And that's what reporters expected when Cunningham walked into her first Fever media session. Stack the days, and that's what we're doing today. It was tough, you know what I mean? Like we've been going for a long time. I'll tell you that this isn't an easy training camp, but I think we're gonna be better for it. And I think if you ask anyone, everyone kind of just feels that nice energy. What makes her particularly suited for this protective role isn't just her physical presence on the court. Her background demonstrates a foundation of discipline and physical prowess that translates directly to her playing style. Throughout her WNBA career, Cunningham has established a reputation for never backing down, making her the ideal shield for a team that needs to set boundaries. I'm on year 7, and I don't think people, when they say, hey, when you get old, you're gonna know, boy, I think I'm starting to get old, and I hate saying that. Well, it's just that we're gonna be we're a run and gun team, and we're a shooting team, but with that, you have to get your cardio with that. You have to play fast, but smart, and there's a fine line between that, and we're all trying to get that. There are a lot of people here, a lot of different rotations, and a lot of people you haven't played with before, so you have to know where they want the ball, when they want it, their rhythm and their style of play. It's important that we know and love each other off the court because that naturally translates to on-court chemistry and a willingness to fight for each other. Cunningham explained during training camp interviews that the veterans' commitment goes beyond simply protecting Indiana's star rookie. This philosophy reveals a deeper strategy. She's not just protecting Clark, she's fostering a culture where every player feels secure. What's that kind of chemistry building process been like, especially off the court, since you guys are now in market? I don't even want to sound like this, but it's been easy because you have really great people here that want to be a part of something. When reporters pressed Cunningham about the physical abuse Clark received during her rookie season, she didn't mince words. That's not basketball. I'm truly happy to be here because it hasn't been like this for my career, and it won't stop. They're not just phenomenal athletes, but they're also phenomenal people who are out in the community and do what's right. I don't know, we're just good stewards. Her statement was so unambiguous that there was no opportunity for interpretation. The days of employing extreme physicality as a tactic against the Fever's franchise player were finished. The GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're gonna learn a lot. You have to be ready for the ball at all times, and the way she throws it is a lot like how DT threw it. I believe this is just a younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy and a little bit more spunk. I missed DT in her prime, but that doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her, but really everyone can shoot right, so you just have to be ready for that, and I'm excited for that. I believe that 1 through 5 are interchangeable, and Cunningham's experience playing with legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Grier has given her unique insight into handling. This veteran wisdom is proving invaluable for a young team facing unprecedented attention, she said during camp, describing her strategy for blocking out outside noise and safeguarding the team's mental space. I'm so grateful and blessed to have my time out in Phoenix. I met a lot of cool people. I had a lot of great teammates. I learned a lot. I had a lot of great times, but just a new era for me, right? A new system, a new type of energy. And so, of course, I'm excited for it. I'm happy to be close to my family. I'm excited to have my teammates. So I'm starting to even get close with now, I think we're going to be a lot of friends, is how Caitlin Clark's basketball skills enhance her instincts for protection. Her deadly three-point shooting makes defenders stay honest, giving Clark more room to operate. This dual threat makes the Fever much more dangerous because opponents now face both athletic and basketball consequences for ignoring Cunningham. Beyond that deadly three-point shooting, there is something even more valuable to Caitlin Clark's success: a basketball IQ that foresees threats before they materialize. While fans may notice the scoring partnership that is developing between these two coaches, we have entered Indiana Fever training camp day. And Sophie Cunningham are dominating during practice sessions. Cunningham isn't just talking about protection, she's putting it into practice by communicating constantly, which changes Indiana's defensive positioning. During drills, you'll see her directing traffic like an on-court air traffic controller, pointing out screens before they happen and making sure Clark is never blindsided by picks she doesn't see coming. This strategic awareness creates an early warning system that enables Clark to move around the court without constantly watching her back, and the practice footage makes for an engaging story during scrimmages. What makes this partnership especially unique is how it extends beyond the court. During drills, Clark and Cunningham are frequently huddled together, engaged in animated conversations about strategy and team dynamics. This quick development of off-court chemistry has created a foundation of trust that translates directly to game situations when the pressure mounts in the fourth quarter. Clark doesn't just react to defensive breakdowns, she prevents them entirely. She's constantly calling out positions, anticipating offensive movements, and organizing the entire defensive unit to work as a single cohesive force. You see Sophie Cunningham having a more successful season than she had at the Mercury because she was able to play a position that wasn't exactly natural to her. However, watching the footage, I think it's kind of crazy because I see Sophie Cunningham at the one as the point guard. You're crazy, you say, but no, her versatility adds another layer to her protective presence. She can play multiple positions from point guard all the way to power forward, giving the Fever unpredictable lineup combinations that keep opponents guessing. The impact of flexibility is not limited to the Clark-Cunningham connection. Teammates have started adopting this same protective mindset, creating a team-wide culture where standing up for each other is simply what they do. For example, Sophie is running the ball up the court, directing traffic, and you can see that pass over to Lexi cross-court. She also seems to have evolved as a leader, talking to everyone in the huddle and telling them to run like we need to be quicker than that. At times, it seems like they were just trying out Sophie as a point guard. It's about one enforcer. It's about a whole team that doesn't allow any player to be singled out or isolated. I could see Sophie simply coming in for a few minutes each game and giving Caitlin Clark or anyone else a break, starting at the one, moving to the two, or anything else. She doesn't look bad while doing it, and there is more footage showing her spotting up, so she can still go over to the two, to the three, to the four, even spot up at the wing and knock down a three. The ripple effects of this protective team culture have created a mathematical problem that no opposing coach can solve. How do you build a defensive wall around the most explosive offensive talent in a generation? The Fever aren't just building for the future anymore, they're coming for everything. Right now, Indiana's front office has put together a championship caliber team that goes far beyond assembling a security detail for their star. Almost overnight, Natasha Howard doesn't just bring intimidation to the court. She brings 3 championship rings and a Defensive Player of the Year trophy with her. Her arrival instantly changes Indiana's defensive identity, setting a new standard and giving younger players a blueprint for winning. It's going to be Caitlin Clark's final game, Caitlin Clark's flash, so it's going to be amazing. Playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision. One thing I like about her is that she throws the ball up as soon as she gets it because she sees the person down the court before she even gets the ball in her hand. Her vision on the court is great, and I can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists she needs. The genius of this roster construction is evident when you see how each piece works well with the others. For example, Brianna Turner's back-to-back all-defensive first-team selections create what teammates are already referring to as a no-fly zone in the paint because her quiet intensity perfectly balances Cunningham's vocal leadership, giving opponents nowhere to hide. People say things like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I feel like I'm really like a soothing presence. I never get too high or too low. You're going to bring, and where will you add to the fever from last year to this year? I'm just relaxing and feeling good. The addition of Dana Bonner may have been the most underappreciated move of all. Her basketball IQ and leadership provide a stabilizing presence both on and off the court in practice sessions. And you can already see her mentoring younger players, reading. I feel like I'm really an observer, but I'm also really competitive. I like to run the floor, play defense, and win. And I think the Fever was the place to be if I wanted to win. What excites you the most about the team you're joining? They have dynamic players in Cece, Kelsey Mitchell, AB, and Lexi Hall. They have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to take us to the next level in the playoffs? They were in the first round, and I played against them in that round, and the way they came back the second game just makes you think, okay, I want to be a part of that. However, they didn't just lay down and quit. They actually tried to beat us early in that next game. What's shocking league observers isn't just the individual talent, but how quickly early reports from training camp show that the group has come together and that the offense is already operating with remarkable efficiency. Clark is finding shooters with pinpoint passes. The ball movement looks crisp, and there is a palpable energy that usually takes months rather than weeks to develop. Cunningham revealed in a recent interview that we have great energy and great people whose chemistry is creating an impossible equation for opposing coaches to focus too much on Clark and Howard Cunningham, or Bonner will make you pay. Let's not forget that this team still has Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull, who can still dismantle you. Without training, there is no longer a viable defensive strategy against this roster. I'm excited to return to Indiana and bring my experience and toughness to the team, emphasizing both the immediate focus on winning and competing at the highest level when the 2025 season tips off, Howard said, perfectly capturing this dual timeline. The Fever have crammed what should have been a multi-year rebuilding project into a single offseason. The Indiana Fever will not look like the struggling expansion team of years past. Veterans like Howard Cunningham, Turner, and Bonner aren't just adding skills. They're creating a culture where physical, tough play is matched and not tolerated. The message to the league is clear. This team demands greatness, but you know they are having fun. For example, Sophie and Caitlin are two friends who have to be separated in class for talking too much, which has actually become a meme online, like the Caitlin dancing. What we're seeing is nothing short of a transformation for the Indiana Fever. The partnership between Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham represents a changing of the guard in the WNBA, creating an environment where talent can flourish without. The rest of the league should take notice because Cunningham's arrival signals more than just the addition of a shooter. It creates a culture where teammates genuinely support one another for the right reasons. The chemistry that develops off the court translates directly to on-court performance, with Clark now free to concentrate on her exceptional playmaking abilities. This isn't just about protecting a star player, it's about completely changing the competitive landscape of women's basketball for years to come. If you're excited, leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Click the video on the screen, and we shall see you in the upcoming